Well, it's about that time. Utica University plays a hockey game tonight. Welcome to another video, I guess. And tonight starts a two-night two home game series against Chatham University. Now, this is a team we've seen a lot before in terms of the past few years. And this is a Utica team coming off two 4-3 overtime wins against Stevenson in Stevenson's building, and then an overtime loss and a 3-8 loss against number one Adrian the week before. So they're looking to come back to home ice, play a real game that's not an exhibition, and really start getting it going. It's going to be exciting. Tonight is Veterans Night, and if the turnout's anything like the Utica Comets game, might be a little loud tonight. Last time Chatham was in the building, or last time Chatham played Utica, Utica won. Utica is historically 9-0 on Chatham, 5-0 at home, and I think Utica can extend that win streak tonight. They averaged 6.89 goals against Chatham, and I'm excited to see what they can do. This Utica team, they may be number 5, but they're one of the top 2 right now to me. They still are. Not much can change that. I don't think almost anything's going to change that they're a top 2 team. They can make themselves a top team. They can. I think that'll take time before we can see if they can or not, because of all the moving parts and factors that go into that, like the new transfers in, etc., etc. I'm hoping tonight really serves as like a shake off the rust, because you're coming off 2 very, very tough opponents, and Adrian is number 1, and the Stevenson's probably the second best in the UCHC conference. They were the only team that got they were the only vote that Utica didn't get for first place went to Stevenson, I'm pretty sure. So that's 2 very tough games. And then they're going to play Chatham, but the good thing is it's in their building. It's in Utica. You got the home crowd, home ice. I'm going to be right behind the benches. That's going to end so well. And it's going to be exciting. I mean, it's always exciting. It's exciting to have UC back in the building for a regular season game. Not much can really compare to that, having that first game back that's a real game back. Because, I mean, you had the crowd kind of in it for the exhibition game, but it didn't feel like a real game. It didn't feel like it was the real thing, because it kind of wasn't. And, I mean, it was a good game for a while when Utica got off to that slow start and then really fired back. But by the time it was 6-2, everyone knew Utica had won. That was pretty much where it ended. Wow, this Chatham website really doesn't tell me anything. I'm not surprised. It's Chatham. Okay, there we go. Now I got it. No, I don't. There's so many websites that can't get something right. But still, I think Utica is going to walk into this one. I think this is slightly easier than what they've had to face the last 4 games. And I think it's their game to lose. I mean, they can win it. This is by far a winnable game. And Chatham's 2-1-1. They got an overtime win on Skidmore, and then lost to Skidmore, and then 1-2 at King's College. So they're 2-1-1. They've played all their games away. They've had no home games. They don't get a home game. Yeah, they don't get a home game until next week when they play Newman. That's a tough stretch. They're coming to the end of a 6-game away stretch. I think that's gonna contribute to a little bit to the struggles of this Chatham team tonight and tomorrow, and I think tomorrow you're really going to see it. If they get destroyed tonight, I think they'd come out flat-footed tomorrow and just completely lay an egg. Because look at what they did against Skidmore. It was tie 1-1 overtime win, and then the next game they lose 1-3. King's College, they won their first game 5-1, then they won their second game 1-0. So right now they're showing a pattern of they do great the first game, and then the second game they have a regression in some way. I haven't watched the games, I can't tell you that for sure, but that's what it looks like to me. And then you're walking in on a number 5 Utica team that wants to show that they may have lost to Adrian twice, but they are the team that everyone should be believing them to be as a top 2 team. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be Chatham if I'm walking into that building. Plus, depending on what they're doing with students and everything, if they're really putting them where I'm hearing they're putting them, and etc., etc., it's going to be weird, but it's going to still be that Utica atmosphere. And I think if I'm any college that walks into that building, I'd at least be a little afraid of that atmosphere. But looking at Utica, they've been, even though they've struggled against Adrian, and they had some tough games against Stevenson, there's some good numbers put up by guys already. And there's been some good performance from this team all around. 2-2 does not describe what this team really looks like. And 3-2 if you count the exhibition game, although it's not necessarily on the actual schedule, or it's not actually contributing to the record. I think it still serves as like a, oh, that's what this team can do, huh? And I think there's more of games like that to come. I think there's more games like that where they take somebody and they just blow them out to come. It's not going to surprise me whatsoever at all. And I'm trying to pull up their stats this season because there's some numbers put up by a lot of guys. So already this season, Utica has a .102 shooting percentage. Goals against average is a 3.5 compared to an opponent 4.5. They're averaging 14 goals on they have 14 goals on 37 shots. They're 1 of 14 on power play, and opponents are 3 of 13. But I think most of those were the Adrian games, and Utica really struggled to score against Adrian. I think like I said, I think they just need that time to compete. I think they need that time, and then they'll be there. And Utica's not, they're committing just about as many penalties as the opponents, and they may have one more penalty, but they have one less minute. And they're averaging 5.3 a game. Or 5.3 penalties a game with 16.5 penalty minutes a game. 18 minors, 2 10-minute misconducts, and a game misconduct. So, if you take the 10 minutes in the game out of the equation, this team has committed 18 penalties with 36 minutes. That's not a lot that's not a lot of minutes compared to the opponents. It's just those big majors. And looking individually, I wish it would show just everybody, but it doesn't. There's some good performances. Like Buster is 1-1-2. Ozzy's 3-1-4. That's goals, assists, points. Regan 3-1-4. Dante 1-3-4. Bernal 1-2-3. Federic 0-3-3. Remy 2-0-2. I mean, like, everybody's contributing, and it's good to see. Everyone's doing their part, even if it doesn't necessarily show up on the score sheet. Everyone's doing something. There's not, and I don't want to say this, but everybody's finding a way to get something in the net in some way, shape, or form. They're getting on the score sheet. And honestly, I think that's the best part right now of Utica. If they can continue to do this, it's a scary team. And it looks like Landsberger's played in 4 games, Duran's played in 1, Sturts has played in 1. So the freshmen have gotten some time. Landsberger's numbers are 14 goals allowed, 3.99 per game, 3 power play goals allowed on 99 shots, and a .876. He's 2-2. 2-2-0. I think as the season progresses, those 2 losses may be his only losses, and until playoffs at least. And I'm not worried the spot Utica's in right now. It takes something big to get me worried, because right now I'm confident in this team. They've got everything in place. They just got to take it. They got to want it, and I think they do. It looks like they do on the ice. It's just I am so excited for this team for nights like tonight. Oh, this is going to be so fun. But anyways, I'll see anybody. If anyone's there, make sure to be loud, and see you guys soon with more content, really.